Okay, everybody, I'm going to do a little video here for Freddie over at htown Model Shop. He was talking about his workbenches. Um, this is a bench I made right after I got sick when I decided I was going to start modeling. I threw it together real fast. I didn't have much money to spend on it, so it's just made out of 2x2s, and a couple little boards. I am in the process planning of building another one. The size is just a size that works out good for me. It's 2 feet by 4 feet. I find if I have anything bigger than that, I did have them both set up so I could use them. It's just, it becomes a catch-all at that point. You know, you just put more stuff on there than you need. If you keep it this size, you kind of have to organize and, you know, everything is placed and place for everything. So that's just kind of what I have. He was asking about my top. The workbench top is MDF, medium density fiberboard, and it's 3/4 inch. The same with the spray booth here, which I got a bug the other day and decided I was going to redo, and I'm pretty sure I've messed it up. But I did come up with a couple cool things with it. I did make the chamber in the back deeper. I did have it a little bit too shallow if anybody looked at the blueprints. I mean, it did work, but the back you really had to snug on to get it on there. It's the same size. It's all the same wood. I just kind of recut it. The front's a little more shallow now, so it does really suck up the fumes a lot better. I have the exhaust port coming out the bottom now, so no matter where I put the booth, you can see I had a hole over here I plugged, and I had a hole over here I plugged, so depending on which window I wanted to go out of. But now, come out the bottom, I can kind of go to either one, and it blows fine. I mean, it's got plenty of suction. I think it's a 50 CFM or something, so it works fine. But I'm going to show you some of my blueprints. But as I said, I'm going to redo this one. It used to be set up like this. The light, it was really tall, which, you know, I do like. It gives you a lot of light here. It was a little wobbly, so I wanted to redo that, which I did on this one. You can see it doesn't wobble now, except for the bench itself moves. And that comes from moving it and taking it apart and putting it back together, and it's just not as tight as it was. But I decided I don't like this as low as it is. I don't like it back as far as it is. It should be out and up more. But this is a 4-foot shop light, and it's not the big fat bulbs. It's the next size down, the smaller. I'm not sure if it's T5s, T8s. See, there's a 5, an 8, and a 12 or something like that. It's the middle ones. But they are the daylight bulbs, so it works beautiful, beautiful light. And so I will show you the blueprints here I have for the workbench. I'm going to make myself. I'm going to use the same service, the same board here. I'm not changing that one. I'm going to use that one in the new one, and I will show you that. I did bring my old antique workbench in my little room here. That's what I did use in my shop all the time. So we'll go around here now, and I'll fire up the computer, and I'm going to make a new spray booth now that I have a design that I actually like. I'm going to make a new one, do it a little bit, so I saw this here, do it a little bit better, and knock it near a brush. That's smart. Do a little bit neater job on it. It's kind of hard, so I don't have a shop, and I do everything right here in this little spare bedroom. So I've got to make sure everything stays swept up and no dust and all that. So let me get the computer fired up here. And I told Freddie that I had AutoCAD, And I misspoke. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Years and years and years ago, before I went into business, I trained on AutoCAD, which is what he has. I went to a Votech Center and trained for 2 years just on AutoCAD. And then when I bought my own program, I ended up buying DesignCAD 3D Max. And I have version 14, which it works, great for me. I'll put you up here now. See if we can get this thing fired up and going here. And it works great for me. Let me get you a full picture here. There's all the parts and pieces. You can see my mouse. Here's the, let me put just each piece in the picture here. Now there's just this side. There'll be two of them. There's all the measurements. The measurement on DesignCAD, it doesn't care if it's inches, meters, centimeters. It doesn't care what it is, as long as you use the same number principle through the whole program. So that's why you have, and I do have it set on inches, but most of the stuff is just, you get below that and you have to put in metric codes. But I have it set so when I print it out, it comes out as inches. So like where it's 19, 30, 24, those are all inches, 24 inches, 30 inches. But that's the design of it. If I can get the computer here a little bit and zoom me in. Alright. So I do have, I'll use my mouse instead of my finger. There's a notch up here, a step down where the top board would go on. That way you don't have to, try and bevel that edge to match or anything. You just cut that square off and then start your angle. That was, we were looking right here. So then start your angle. So that's the only thing you really have to cut on this side. And this is all made out of MDF. So if you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever you shop, and you can buy pre-cut panels, 2x4 panels. So then the only thing you would have to cut is just this one angle right here. And that will give you, here on my workbench, that will give you this side over here. So on mine, I want mine all closed in all the way around. And that will, in essence, reflect all this light back just in this cavity. So it'll give you a lot more light. It'll give you a place to hang stuff. You can put little shelves all the way around, little hooks. Little things to put your paintbrushes and stuff like that on. We still got snow. There it is. We got about 8 inches out there now. So anyways, there's the side. So you need 2 of those. You can buy pre-cut. Let's go back. You would have the top here, which is the top. It's not the workbench, it's the top of the cabinet. So there's all your measurements. Back up just a little bit. 4, that come out a little bigger. For that, and you just need one of those. I've got labeled as part B. So you need one of those. Oop, wrong button. So we'll go back, and that was the top that went over here. If you can see on my mouse, that was that top there. Now this is a piece that I already have. I'm going to use on mine, but since you don't have it, you'll need it. So there's the actual workbench tops. You'll have 23 1/4 by 46 1/2 actual work surface, which I find for me is more than adequate for the way I work. I work on one card at a time. Somebody that doesn't may want something bigger, and that's fine. I mean, you could make it however big you want and use the same size and that, but I'm afraid if you go too long, then you'll end up with some saggage, in here. I don't want that. And these panels here, I believe, will sag if you get them too long. But so then you need a back, and again you can buy that pre-cut. Here's your back. It's just a 4x4 back. And Freddie, what I was going to do was buy a 4x8 sheet of 3/4. And I prefer 3/4 because it's stronger, it's flatter. It gives you, if you're screwing it together, it gives you a lot more area to screw into. It doesn't split. So if you buy a 4x8 sheet, you can, in essence, can get the back and two sides out of one sheet. And then you can buy two little 2x4 sheets to get the work surface and the top out of. And you can have those pre-cut right there at the store too as well. I think they may charge you 50 cents, but you can have this one sliced down over here. You can have this one cut, you know, to whatever size you want. That way when you take it home, all you do is assemble it. And you can make it, like, so you can make it longer. You can make it 5-6 feet long. That's totally up to you. If you do that, you may want to put a 2x2 or something under this edge. If you see my mouse moving over, under this edge to strengthen that a little bit if you get too much longer. You can make multiples of them, line them all up together. Or you can just make a big, you know, however you want to do this, a big bench. That's totally up to you. But that's what I have for that. And we will go back over and I will show you the, in case you're interested, the spray booth. And I believe, yeah, I redrew this. So this one is now, see, here's the old, my old version. The one I had before I redone it. And this is the same one like Dr. Cranky has. I just went on their website, got their measurements, plugged it in here so I could build it. And this is what it was before. So then I really changed was I changed the 4 inches to 8, so I doubled the length of this, you know, over to about here. So I gave more room in the back, a little bigger shelf up here, smaller in the front. So there's a side, you know, cut out of that. If you can see all the measurements good enough. Since you have AutoCAD, I know you can read blueprints, or at least mine. So there's your width, your heights, you know, all that. That's looking at it from the back. That's the back view. And then now here is the new side view, which I do like a lot better. You can see this is much sharper now. A smaller cavity up here. Gives you a lot more draw. The fan's the same fan, both of them. And then I believe I was going to, yeah, this one I was going to make wider, but I opted not to. You see, I was going to make it 24 inches wide, which would be okay. You can put 2 fans in it, have twice the draw. Give you a little bit more room for your hands. It does get, you know, a tad bit tight. You know, trying to get you can see how big my hand is compared to the or if you know how big one of these little saw things are, or the airbrush. I'll give you it's like 15.5 inches, something like that. But I mean, it is plenty good. And then I put a light, you know, light above it, so I got plenty of light. Just a light on an arm. So I can position the light wherever I want it. So please, if you have any questions, Freddie, give me a holler on my YouTube, Skype, gang, Skype me. You can turn the light on my help. You can get a hold of me. I'll give you my email. Skype me, whatever. If there's anything you need to know. And please, if anybody else can use this, please do. No problem there. And I will get started back on this in a minute. And we'll probably may even put up 2 videos today. Who knows? We're going to have to mask this off And well, I'll leave that for another video. So, alright guys. Well, you all have a good one.